Hey everyone, so I have a breaking news story to share with you today with a few details that I think are kind of flying under the radar that I wanted to discuss. I also have a backlog of some Disney Park news stories I wanted to get into, and I have a new rumor to share. But first of all, I have to admit I initially hesitated posting this video altogether because we're expecting even more news tomorrow, April 3rd, for Disney's shareholders meeting. And some are speculating we could get that long-awaited opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure and possibly confirmation about Animal Kingdom's Tropical America's Land. So I'm hoping today's video won't be irrelevant or drowned out within 24 hours. We'll just have to see. But regardless of what happens, I'm forging ahead with some new and recent information today, beginning with Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Walt Disney World and what it means for the future of the Magic Kingdom. So, last week, Disney shared new plot and character details for the upcoming ride, and apparently, that missing ingredient that's going to send guests and Tiana into the bayou has nothing to do with gumbo or beignets. Instead, that ingredient is actually music, and the bayou is where we're going to find it. Disney revealed a musical band of critters, as Disney described them, will be playing a version of a tune from the Princess and the Frog film, Gonna Take You There. And Disney has given this animal band names, backstories, personalities, and instruments made from nature and objects in the bayou. Now, first thing this morning, which is April 2nd, Disney shared even more about these so-called critters. But while the former batch played Zydeco music, this batch will play a genre of music which is described as a musical tradition from Haiti, and that's part of New Orleans history. Disney also noted that this new roster of Bayou personalities can be seen on Tiana's Bayou Adventure's first official ride poster. Yes, we finally have a ride poster for this upcoming attraction, and Disney also teased that more animals are to come. So, the poster, the animals are all signs that we're truly almost there, but again, there are a few things from this announcement that I think we need to dive into. First of all, these critters are original characters from Walt Disney Imagineering. This means they're not based on any Disney movies or a Disney Plus show, but created by Imagineers just for the parks. So they're joining the ranks of Figment, Chubby from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the various goats from the Haunted Mansion, characters from the Jungle Cruise, and so on. And this shouldn't be overlooked because it means Imagineering is being given the power to create their own IPs, even if it's alongside a well-known IP already. And at this point in time with the company, I think that's progressed and a pretty good compromise. Secondly, Disney taking at least 2 blog posts so far to emphasize these critters debunks what many Disney fans feared, which is that Tiana's Bayou Adventure would skimp on its audio animatronics, which is something Splash Mountain had in abundance. And the design of these characters seems to be kind of a bridge between Splash Mountain's folksy critter cast and The Princess and the Frog, which I appreciate. It suggests Disney is wanting to maintain what worked with that former attraction, but also helping to calm fan fears and build anticipation. It's a multi-pronged marketing plan of attack, and I think it's working. But circling back on that poster, what caught my attention and what needs more attention is the 2 structures on the bottom half of the artwork with Walt Disney World and Frontierland listed underneath. Fans of The Princess and the Frog will know that this appears to be Tiana's palace from the film, and I'm guessing the other is either the other side of the restaurant or possibly her co-op, which is a part of the ride's backstory and that she created after the events of the film. At the moment, I'm not entirely sure, but the fact it was included on the ride poster, which is specifically noted for Walt Disney World, is, in my opinion, the best evidence yet that a Tiana takeover for at least part of Frontierland is on the way, and with Tiana's Palace restaurant likely replacing Pecos Bill's. It's also worth noting that this poster and its telling details were revealed after the Disney Dish podcast with Jim Hill suggested a classic Frontierland attraction would be going away, and after Blog Mickey reported that the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade may be replaced with a new DVC lounge. Now, Do I think the arcade will be part of this Tiana Frontierland expansion? No, I do not. I think that Tiana's Palace is replacing Pecos Bills, like I said, and everything basically from Country Bear Jamboree up to the land's entrance into Adventureland. However, this is further evidence that construction is coming to Frontierland, and likely right after Tiana's is complete, allowing construction crews to simply move across the pathway for their next assignments. Lastly, I'm tending to think that Disney's use of the term critters to describe the ride's many occupants may mean more than we think. Over at Disneyland, the line between New Orleans Square and Critter Country is being blurred, with Tiana's Louisiana-inspired ride occupying a corner of New Orleans Square, but with one of its gift shops opening all the way at the far end of Critter Country. This raises the question of whether Disney wants these two lands to become one, with a New Orleans vibe at one end and a Bayou country theme at the other. Given that Disney World's Frontierland will be home to the new Country Bear Jamboree and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, makes me think this could be a multi-coast effort to reimagine these two lands. And while I could very easily be reading too much into this, it is something to consider. Another major news story from recent days, Disney has filed a new patent for what appears to be a thrill version of the Soarin' ride design. I've seen speculation this could be an update to Soarin' both at Epcot and Disney California Adventure. I, however, am a little hesitant to jump on the bandwagon. While I think this would be great, I just don't know how extensive implementing the system would be construction-wise, and if Disney is willing to do so. Soarin's ride system is massive. It's huge. If this is going to require some significant shutdown time and construction, again, don't know if Disney's willing to do that, especially since Epcot is just now finishing its multi-year redo and fans are wanting new attractions, not more updates and revamps. We'll just have to see, but I'm more apt to think this may be a system for a new attraction. Some have suggested it could be for the King Thanos multiverse ride coming to DCA, Avengers Campus, and while I'm not sure if the patent tracks the ride vehicle revealed at last year's Destination D23, a semi-flight inspired ride could absolutely work for an MCU ride, as a screen would allow for Marvel stars to be used in the ride and would be great for multiverse hopping. And let's just be honest, simulated flight rides like this, even though they rely on a screen, are often fan favorites, as evidenced by Soarin' in Flight of Passage. Also, since Disney has been teasing this Avengers Campus e-ticket ride for years at this point, they don't have a lot of time left. They need to be showing progress on this ride at D23 in August. So again, that one, we will see what happens. Switching over to Hollywood Studios and Disneyland, as I reported in a previous video, there was some confusion surrounding the Disney Parks blog post about Star Tours The Adventures Continue and its addition of Ahsoka, Andor, and The Mandalorian. I pointed out the language on Disney's media site suggested we're only getting one new destination or planet, despite the 3 Star Wars Disney Plus shows having some sort of presence. And according to the post, that planet was going to be Peridia from Ahsoka, even though the teaser video showed events happening over a different planet, which is Cetos, also from Ahsoka, by the way. Well, it now sounds like we're only getting one planet, and Mando, Grogu, and Andor will be holograms or transmissions only. The Disney Parks blog actually reversed course, and their post now reads that guests will be visiting Cetos, not Peridia. Personally, I'm kind of disappointed about this. Not only was I hoping for planets from The Mandalorian and Andor, but Peridia from Ahsoka was the planet from the show that's located in a different galaxy and home to those mysterious mythological statues that Star Wars fans know as a reference to Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars series. I would have enjoyed getting a different look at them, a different perspective. Plus, going to Peridia would have allowed for a trip through Technicolor hyperspace with the Purrgil, aka space whales. However, it seems that Cetos it is when Star Tours adds these new Disney Plus adventures beginning on April 5th, which is later this week. Also, little announcement, I will be on site at Hollywood Studios on April 5th to experience this new edition and fully intend to share that experience and my thoughts with you, so stay tuned for that. This next news story I did not see coming. The MCU is taking over an It's a Small World attraction. Set to open in winter 2025, It's a Small World with Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy will become an overlay for Tokyo Disneyland's It's a Small World ride. However, Groot is far from the only MCU character being added to this classic Disney attraction. The poster shows Captain Marvel, the Wasp, Hulk, Rocket, Thor, Goose the Cat or Flurkin from Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Sam Wilson, Wong, and more. So here's why this matters. To date, It's a Small World with Groot will likely be the biggest assemblage of Marvel characters in a single Disney park ride, at least until the multiverse ride opens at Avengers Campus anyway. It's also important to note that they will be included alongside the Disney animated characters already present in It's a Small World, making for an epic and interesting mashup / crossover. Plus, the MCU characters will be displayed with that pastel, childlike Small World aesthetic, which I'm very interested in seeing. Lastly, as for that rumor I promised, the Disney Dish with Jim Hill all but confirmed something I discussed in my last video, which is that Joe Rohde is likely to be involved with Animal Kingdom's Tropical America's expansion. There is no word right now if he will also contribute to Avengers Campus King Thanos ride or a potential Wakanda, although I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one. But of all upcoming projects fans can hope Rohde will work on, Animal Kingdom's New Land is absolutely the one. Also, Jim Hill and Len Testa suggested both parties, which is Rohde and Disney, were interested in working together again. So this is a mutual work situation. Not only does that make me so happy, but it's further evidence that he's likely to do way more than just offer classes at Walt Disney Imagineering, as fans have been suspecting. And it's also pretty good evidence that we may see Rohde at D23 making some announcements as fans have been hoping for. So that is great news. So that is all I have for today. Again, we are expecting some news tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Nothing is guaranteed. But again, also I'll be at Disney's Hollywood Studios for the opening of the Star Tours expansion. I'll be sharing that whenever I'm able to post. So a lot of content is coming your way. As always, thanks so much for listening and please stay tuned.